What's up, everybody? This is Cyrus, and it's a rainy day here in Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia. And in this video I want to answer the question about if Ethiopia is a safe country to visit, if the capital is a safe place to check out. Let's take a look real quick around my street. Let's cross the street real quick. I will tell you right off the bat, something I really like about this city is that it's easy to cross the street. So unlike other countries I've been to in my travels, other developing countries, the drivers are very polite. They stop at crosswalks, they let you merge in. That's more than I could even say about Los Angeles, for crying out loud. So as you can kind of see, the city's not really much to look at. It's not like an aesthetically beautiful city. To be perfectly honest, it's a little bit of a dump. But I will say Ethiopia is one of my favorite places I've been to in all my travels, for many reasons. The culture is very, very vibrant. We can basically thank Ethiopians for coffee. So every time you go to Starbucks and you order a cup of joe, then you should probably thank the Ethiopian culture for inventing coffee as a spiritual ceremony. So when you're in Ethiopia, you'll find in many restaurants they'll do a coffee ceremony. It's a little bit like the Japanese tea ceremony, except, well, it's coffee. So if you like coffee more than tea, then you should definitely check out Ethiopia instead of Japan. So it is interesting that, you know, I could probably do a whole video about the coffee, and but other than that, you know, the food is amazing, but also the people are really, really great. And I think everybody who visits the country, they get that impression about the culture and how inclusive it is. So you don't feel like an outsider. People are really happy to show you their culture and help make you a part of it. So that said, is it dangerous? So this was one of my major concerns coming into the country, was how dangerous is Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia. And here's my hotel, Toronto Addis Hotel. Nice quaint little place. Over there is an ice cream shop I go to a lot that has some of the best Italian ice cream I've ever had. A lot of great little surprises in the city. But I guess in a nutshell, Addis Ababa has a pretty bad criminal element, and this is in all sub-Saharan African cities, basically, at least the big capital cities. And you know, I read that you should not be walking, especially on this street that we were just on, Mickey Leyland, at night, that you should keep your valuables close to you. But you know, interestingly, I've also heard another perspective, and I've been here for almost 2 weeks and I haven't had any issues, which is that the country severely punishes anyone who commits crimes against foreigners, because it would damage the economy so badly. So they want to have a reputation of being a safer place to visit. And as a result, despite the criminal element, despite the, you know, obvious presence of mafia, especially on the street I'm on, it's arguable if anybody will give you a hard time. If you know, probably pickpocketing and that kind of thing, yes, but violent crime, the expats I've spoken to and the locals basically say it's unheard of against foreigners, because even the criminals are aware that if you mess with foreigners, then you will end up in prison and throwing away the key. I think somebody was. Huh?
There's a coming with tip.
Huh?
It's very, very difficult. Between and CTR.
You know?
Take phone.
Oh.
The tip is coming.
I was just talking about on a video if there is thief.
Yes, yes.
So there is many thief in Addis Ababa.
No, yeah. But you are coming up tip. Will be wrong up this.
They will see my phone and they will grab it.
Around here.
This is my hotel right here.
I know. I know it.
Ah, good idea. Thank
I'm
you, though.
fair. Never mind.
That's good. It is good advice because I just was telling
Yes.
my friends about if there is crime or a
Okay.
thief.
Yeah.
And so it's funny that you mentioned this.
Okay.
But yeah.
Will be arrangement.
It's a good idea. So I think that also answers the question is that, yeah, there is definitely theft out here, as the gentleman just told me. So just having a phone out, could maybe draw negative attention. While on the other hand, I think the odds of being a victim of violent crime is very low. That said, I think you need to be very cautious and you need to stay on guard when you are in a place like this. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's much worse than Mexico, for instance. So I guess that's that. Stay on guard, stay smart. Maybe don't do what I'm doing, which is making videos on the street. Keep your cell phone maybe in an inside pocket, like I usually keep it inside my jacket, and you should be okay. Like, I've been here almost 2 weeks. I haven't had any issues. People warn me. People tell me it can happen, but personally, it just I haven't had any problems. But I do know there's a criminal element. So before I wrap the video up, I want to just mention a couple other reasons that this is a great place to visit. So again, the city's not much to look at, but the food is amazing. The people are really great. I will say, as a guy, the women here are exceptionally beautiful. So just a random waitress that you meet in a cafe could give Beyonce at her prime a run for her money. And I'm not exaggerating. It has to do with this mix of Arabic and African genetics. And so I swear it's like every other person you meet here, probably the guys too, but I'm not really looking at the guys, but it's like they could, half of them could compete on the top model show. Like, if any of these people appeared on America's Top Model, they would be doing very well. So again, that is that's kind of an incentive too. I mean, it's surprising. I mean, again, I come here, I'm always looking over my, looking around, looking over my shoulder at various very beautiful sights, to say the least. Now, I will say, like, the issues with crime, the issues with mafia in Addis Ababa are apparently not so prevalent outside of the city. So I hear in cities like Mekelle, I believe is the name of it, to the north, that it's much safer, there's much less crime. And that may be a good place to base out of. If I came back here, I would probably go to that city. I wouldn't come back to Addis necessarily. I have spoken to expats who have been to that city, Mekelle, and they have told me that you could walk around at 2 o'clock in the morning by yourself and you wouldn't be in any risk because there is no mafia, there is no criminal element. And finally, the criminal element that is in Addis Ababa, the issue with thieves, it's still, based on expert opinions by travelers, much, much safer than what you may find in any other sub-Saharan African city, at least in this part of the continent. I think some countries like Botswana are very safe, but if you go to a place like Nairobi, then petty crime is not the biggest danger. You can get kidnapped by going into the wrong taxi. And as far as I know, that doesn't really happen here, so that's a big plus. So, in summary, great reasons to visit Ethiopia. I really, really love this country, but stay safe. Don't do what I do. Don't whip your phone out. And keep in mind that 98% of the people here are not thieves. They're not going to cause you any problems. And they're wonderful, but you have to keep very, very vigilant against that minority, that criminal element, which is very obvious in the city. It's raining a lot now. If you come in July, you can expect the rainy, cold season. I don't mind it. I've been in India for a while. I enjoy the cool weather, to be honest with you. Well, this is it. Hit that subscribe button if you like my videos, if you like my topics, and I guess I'll be seeing you on the next video. This is Cyrus. Talk next time.